I'll never forget the sound of his laughter. Mr. Damle had a habit of tilting his head back a little when he found something especially amusing, and that day, standing in the endless clang and echo of the back office, he put on a show worthy of an audience. "Ah, Sayash," he said, bending over my desk, tapping his manicured finger on the folder I'd left. "You're not serious, right?" Outside, the monsoon rain battered the faded signboard, ND. Electricals and components so hard the bulbs flickered. In here, the ceiling fans whirred on high, pushing muggy air around the cubicles. My throat stuck with embarrassment, and I glanced around. Everyone was already watching. Diane from accounts paused with his tea halfway to his lips, eyebrows stitched together. Priya pretended to fuss with the copier. "Sayash, listen to yourself. I want to make movies." "Movies, huh?" Damle did his thing with the head tilt. "You can barely get the Excel sheets right. You think Karan Johar started with stock taking, huh?" The edge of my seat felt sharp underneath me. All morning, worry had coiled up my stomach like a snake ready to strike. I swallowed, then tried to steady my voice. Sir, I love films, I write, I make shorts on weekends, I wanted to ask permission for half-day leave tomorrow too." "A snort, tomorrow again." "Beta, you asked for afternoons off last month also. What was it, some online workshop? This is not Film City." He looked me over, eyebrows raised above his thick designer frames. "If you want to be a hero, you need to look the part. No one's casting you, Sayash." The shame flooded up, hot and prickling under my collar. My tongue thickened. I felt small, exposed, stupid. He paraded my dream through the office, rattling off imitations. "Madam, I need half-day, have to shoot masterpiece for YouTube. Maybe Priya will do camera and Babuji will fund." "No," Maury laughter. "Beta, in the real world, dreams don't pay rent. Come back after you win an Oscar." I could feel everyone shrinking away, faces tucked politely, some holding back smirks. I tried to smile, but it tasted of salt. The permission was obviously denied. I nodded stiffly, willing away the sting in my eyes, gathered my things, and hunched over my monitor until lunch. Outside, the sky heaved, and a trickle crawled down the wall near my desk. That night I walked home in the dark, umbrella useless against the sideways sheets of rain. Elphinstone Road was half under water, neon signs blurring, horns blaring as rickshaws splashed by. In my back pocket, my printed script was turning soft from the wet. My mother was waiting, hair tied back in a tight knot, chopping pumpkin. She glanced at me, eyes tired and mouth pressed thin. "Late again." Boss shouted. I grunted, kicked off my wet sandals, and went to my room to change. "Sayash," she called after me, "I hope you are not thinking of that movie business again. I need you to send money to our Jobeth." I changed in 3 steps, staring at my battered reflection in the wardrobe mirror, collar crumpled, face hollowed by late nights. My mind replayed Damle's voice, softening every jagged word until it was just an ache. By dinner, Papa had come home, his usual slow steps and a long breath before he sat at the table. He looked at me over the rim of his glasses, wary. "So, Mr. Rajan's son, Bharat, promoted. Accounts manager at Infosys now. His parents are happy. Don't you want to try for MBA again?" I poked at the jeera rice. "I want to make films, Papa." He set his spoon down. "Then why do you need this job, Ma jumped in. "Stop filling his head, Sayash. This is not America. You are not Amir Khan's." They didn't mean it to hurt, but it burrowed deep, small dreams withering every time they were aired. I didn't argue, I cleaned my plate. I went to my room, shut the door, and sat up with my script, lights off, feverish with longing. For months, the humiliation lingered. At work, nobody forgot. Priya stopped talking, just smiled quietly. Sometimes Diane asked, "Boss, finished your short film? When's the premiere?" I pretended to laugh. Every joke stuck to me like wet clothes. I wrote whenever I could. Cheap notebooks, coffee shops, quick notes on my phone during lunch, burning the midnight oil until the only sounds were the drunk shouts from the street below and the dogs fighting over scraps. I shot 3 shorts with borrowed equipment and friends who gave up weekends for Vada Pav and bus fare. Each one fizzled, low view counts, maybe a polite compliment on Facebook from an old classmate. I despaired. But I kept going. One day, a message landed in my inbox from Trina, an old friend from college. "I saw your film. If you ever want to collaborate, let's meet." My heart leapt. We met in Antari, crowded bar, traffic roaring by. She looked different in a good way, all brisk confidence. "I'm working with an indie collective," she said, sipping her espresso. "We pool gear, there's a story we need." "Yours ticked all the boxes." She smiled sly. "You hungry?" I was flat broke. I climbed in. For the next year I worked harder than I thought possible. I stole time. Skipped meals, quit my job, moved into a small chawl with 2 others, slept on the floor and lived on chai and instant noodles. I walked sets at dawn, chased sunlight with a camera, learned how to edit at 3 in the morning. That first film, set in Dharavi, nearly killed me. Money ran out halfway. The sound guy walked out. We begged, borrowed, called in every favor. When I sent my mother money, she called, voice strained. Why can't you take a proper job, Sayash? Even your cousin got married last week. When Papa called, he said nothing, just slow breaths, static. He was disappointed. Once I went to a relative's house, rooftop wedding, brittle laughter. My aunt leaned in, heavy gold bangles clinking. Beta, what are you really doing? Don't waste your youth. Film is for rich people. Engineers do well these days. I smiled, careful not to crack. Inside, everything was grief and clarity. Each rejection pressed me deeper, etched purpose into my bones. I stopped craving their approval. What I wanted became sharper, more necessary. The film, title Redeemed, ended up finishing, rough edges and all. We couldn't afford a festival entry fee, but someone at the Bombay Indie Fest watched a screener link. He sent a short email, "This is important. We want to screen it." Opening night, the seats were half full, mostly friends, a sprinkling of strangers. I watched from the back, heart in my mouth, doubts crawling up my spine. When the credits rolled and the lights came up, people clapped. Some stood, I shook hands, smiled, tried not to cry. Within a month, someone in New York wanted a subtitled copy, then people from Kerala, Singapore, Hyderabad. A small website called it unflinching. None of this paid the bills. I spent years grafting, part-time gigs, teaching scriptwriting, fixing bicycles to make rent, but it was enough to keep going. Each new film did a little better. I built a team. My films won odd awards, regional, online. Some French YouTube jury gave best micro-budget feature. No morning headlines, but people noticed. I gave talks at workshops, grew a beard, got a set of broken glasses repaired twice over. My family still didn't get it. Each phone call was perfunctory. Are you coming home? Your cousin is in Dubai now, a big IT job. Why can't you? But then last year, a miracle. My third feature, All the Doors Are Open, was selected for the Mumbai International Film Festival. Not a side event, main program, full house, red carpet, the whole thing. The invite arrived on email, typed in polite English, logo glinting. I read it 3 times before it sank in. I called Ma, told her, she didn't react. Too much stress in Papa's job nowadays, she said. Come home soon. I almost didn't go back. That city, that narrow flat, its chilly reception, I'd built walls. But then Trina said, you have to, not for them, for you. A week before the festival, I sent an invite to my old family WhatsApp group. Ma, Papa, 3 cousins, 2 aunts. My latest film is selected for Mumbai International, free passes for family, would you like to come? Ah wah, congratulations, my cousin Rahul replied, a man who once said, here comes Mr. Spielberg for years. No other replies. 2 days before the screening, I landed in Mumbai, steamy June. The air was heavy, hot, metallic, almost sticky on the skin. I took a taxi to my old building, Grantham Towers. The lift was out, paint peeling off every floor. My parents' door was open. Ma sat on the balcony floor shelling peas. She looked up, her smile flickered, uncertain. Papa came out, fussed with his shirt buttons, glanced anywhere but at my eyes. Namaste, I said, sudden lump in my throat. We hugged hard, awkward. The flat seemed smaller, even as every inch breathed memories. Ma made tea. Papa sat with the newspaper, his fingers trembling on the crossword. Sayash, your film, she started but trailed off. Yes, I emailed about the screening, I said. She busied herself with cups. Papa cleared his throat. It's good, I suppose we can try to come if work is not too much. My heart picked up, a flicker of hopes. I got 4 free passes. The theatre is not far, Regal Cinema, Colaba. Papa nodded, almost to himself. Good auditorium. The day of the screening, I wore my best. Grey curta, black jeans, nervous smile polished in the mirror. I gave an extra pass to Priya, yes, from ND Electricals. She was a tech consultant now, living less than a kilometre away. Regal was unmissable that night, spotlights crawling the old Art Deco face, banner unfurling above the doors. My throat was paper dry. Inside, ushers fussed about, media flashing cameras, the air thick with perfume and anticipation. I waited in the foyer, craning around for my family. They arrived late, Ma in her old blue sari, Papa awkward in a jacket and tie, my younger cousin in cargo pants grinning. It's crowded, Ma said, gripping her purse. Everyone's dressed up, Papa said, voice fluttering. We found seats middle row, perfect view. When the house lights dipped and the festival anthem played, I felt a sudden clarity, a slicing through years of humiliation and longing. My film flickered onto the screen. I'd seen these scenes 1,000 times, children running through alleys, an old woman clutching a key, a rickshaw driver singing in the rain. But in the dark, with hundreds watching, everything felt raw, exposed. Near the end, when the main character, a version of myself, faces a crowd, eyes ringed with doubt, I heard Ma gasp. After the credits, silence, then applause louder than I could bear. Some people stood cheering, the house lights sprang up, dazzling. I walked to the stage for the host gestured for me to speak. It was hard to breathe. I looked for my parents frozen in their seats, mouths open. Priya waved, tears in her eyes. The questions rained in. How did you capture that intimacy? Who funded you? Can cinema change people? I answered with bare truth, the struggle, the nights of hunger, the devotion. Afterward, reporters reached for quotes, photographers took pictures. Strangers shook my hand, my family waited at the exit, eyes shining. For the first time, pride mixed with awe. Outside, people milled in the blue-white glow from the banner. An old voice cut through, a blast from the past that made my skin jump. Sayash Kaire, is that really you? I turned. There at the edge stood Mr. Damle, tweed jacket a little threadbare, his new assistant in tow. He blinked in surprise, then blustered up. Ah, so your film, huh? Really, you did good. Crowd is full, even some of our office people came. He tried a smile, but the familiar head tilt was gone. His laugh sounded thin. I waited for him to make a joke. I wondered if it would sting. He shook my hand. Beta, you proved us wrong, nah. Everyone laughs at dreamers, very few go all the way. Good job, very good job. It wasn't quite an apology, but it settled something inside. News trickled back, relatives called, hesitant, asking for photos. Old friends sent long messages. Even ND Electrical's Diane Priya, a few others, attended a matinee the next day, crowding around me in the lobby, giddy with pride and disbelief. We went out that night, my family quieter than usual. Papa sat in the taxi, silent, hand gripping his knee. Sayash, he said at last, you know, not easy what you did. We didn't understand, you did. That's good. In the wash of the city's lights, Ma reached over, squeezed my hand tight. Some hurt vanished, replaced with warmth. Returning after all those years, shamed, doubted, dismissed, there was no grand vindication, no trumpet blare. But in that cinema, under the bright banners, the people who doubted saw everything that perseverance can do. I'm not a hero, not a savior, just a son of Mumbai with calluses on his palms who once walked home in monsoon rain, clinging to a sodden dream. That night, under the vast, dripping sky, I walked home with my parents. The crowds thinned, the city slowed, their steps matched mine, and for the first time our silence wasn't heavy with unspoken grief. It felt like forgiveness, a silent acceptance, as sudden and sure as the first light after a long storm.